Ladies and gentlemen, I'm in a good mood today, Jack. I'm in a hell of a mood today, man. You see, this past week, there was a lot going on, as I hinted on the last show, right? And it kind of spilled over like the water on the counter into my weekend. Wasn't doing that great during the weekend. Quite frankly, I was in a bad mood. And then yesterday, minding my business on Sunday, trying to get used to the Sundays without the NFL. I get a update from Sports Center. I go on my phone and I look and I see that the GOAT, Tom Brady, is back. He's here. He's unretired. And man, when I tell you that made my day, bro, that made my day. I'm in a good mood. I hope everybody's doing good today. I hope your wife didn't give you no trouble. I hope you in the car, going to wherever you got to go to, going home, afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm in a good mood. I couldn't be more blessed. And like my co-host Zay will say, I'm in paradise because I am. Tom Brady is back in the league as he announced on social media he's coming back for his 23rd season in Tampa Bay. Are you surprised that Tom Brady changed his mind? And Zay, I'm not. I'm not surprised. Now, I would say this. 40 days or less than 40 days, it seemed like, he came back. I'm surprised at the timeline, right? I thought it would have been somewhere after this season, possibly. I thought he possibly would have sat out this season and then realized that Giselle is a lot to handle and all the duties around the house, taking care of the kids is a lot to handle. Yeah, I need to be back. I need to be doing what I've been doing for the last, 2 decades now, which is kicking some ass. That's what he was missing. That's what I thought he would have missed. But the fact that we got this news now, I'm not going to lie. I didn't see that punch coming. It took me off guard on God, but I'm glad that we're here to talk about it because, listen, I had to, look around and evaluate myself as a football fan because I've been rocking with Tom Brady. I've been a Patriot fan. And Claire, when Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay, I was a Tampa Bay fan. So you can argue that I'm not a particular fan of a particular team, more so the player. Don't hate me. People in the NBA do it all the time. They follow LeBron James wherever he goes. So I'm not feeling bad, right? But I had to kind of, in my mind, adjust to life without rooting for Tom Brady. And I'm just saying to myself, damn, which team am I going to do it for? Like, which team am I going to root for? I can't call myself a fan of a new team. That wouldn't sit well with me because I wasn't there through the thick and thin, through the skin. I wasn't. So I'm like, what team am I going to like? What team am I going to watch, a little bit more than others? That's what I was thinking about in my mind. And in fact, what's crazy, Zay, was on Saturday, I was watching the NFL Network after the game, the Warriors and the Bucks, right? I was flipping back and forth. I finished watching that game. They had a rerun of the 2017 Patriots versus Steelers match, regular season, week 15, right? A big matchup. I think the Steelers lost 2 games prior to that game. Patriots lost 3. And that basically shaped the whole playoff seeding. And I was watching that game, and I was watching Tom Brady do what he do, which is lead his team in clutch situations, something that's been literally his bread and butter is clutchness. Right? And I was saying to myself, damn, if I could get one more year of Brady back in the NFL, God, I'll be happy. All right, just one more year, one more season to finish with his unfinished business. And Lord behold, God must have heard my prayer because clearly God got a prayer line and you got 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people a day coming to God. But somehow my prayer got shoot up the ranks and he heard my prayer. And Tom Brady said, you know what? I have unfinished business. And once again, delivering as he always have done for a brother like myself, delivering championships and now delivering by coming back to the NFL. Now, I would like to say this. I want to give credit to Jason Light, the GM of the Buccaneers, for realizing that when you have a GOAT, he needs to take the time that he needs to take in order for him to make a decision like this that can impact a whole lot of things, right? Some people would have closed the door. I got to move on. I got to add to my roster. I got to make some cuts, right? But they held the door open for Tom Brady. And that's how you should do it for a guy like Tom Brady. No disrespect to Bill Belichick, but he didn't do his due diligence when he had Tom Brady. He allowed Tom Brady to walk out the door. Jason Light held the door open for Tom Brady. And when you do that for great players like that, you will be rewarded, and the other guy will not be rewarded. And that has been the case for the Buccaneers compared to the Patriots over the last 2 seasons. That's why you do it. That's why you make the sacrifices. Some people, they have more leniency than others because they earned it. Tom Brady has earned it, and the only thing left to say here with Tom Brady and the Buccaneers is how they attack free agency. A lot of guys got to get paid. You're talking about Hadam Kinsu. You're talking about JPP. You're talking about Rob Gronkowski. You're talking about Leonard Fournette. You're talking about a whole lot of dudes. They just gave Ryan Jensen a 3-year deal that bring his O-line back. Now, these questions, although they are questions, Carlton Davis, can't forget about him, the starting quarterback for this team. Although these are questions and they have to work their magic in the salary cap era, there is something called a hometown discount to play with the GOAT. And I'm pretty sure these guys like Leonard Fournette, these guys like Rob Gronkowski, now their decision is a little bit more easier. I take less money, 1-year deal, run it back, and let's see what we do.
You said a lot, and it's a lot. There's a lot to unpack. But when I look at Tom Brady's decision to come back, was I surprised? I don't think so, especially with all the news that happened with the NFC. Russell Wilson's out the NFC. Khalil Mack is out the NFC. CMC might be out the NFC. The Cardinals are dysfunctional right now with their quarterback situation. They don't know what's going to happen there. I mean, more than likely he'll get his contract extension. But what does that do for the locker room when the guys are not really rocking with him? We don't know what this Cardinals team is going to be. When you look at all of those factors, and also the Green Bay Packers this morning, they didn't resign. They're releasing, Darius Smith from that line. Devontae Adams said he's not playing on our franchise tag. So now it's like Aaron Rodgers by himself over there in Green Bay. So now when Tom Brady's looking at all these factors, all these things that's happening, right, and it's circulating, in his mind he's like, it's going to be me versus the Rams, and I got to beat them this time. That's really what he's looking at. It's me versus the Rams. I have to beat them this time. That's what it's looking like currently for this NFC Championship game or even in the playoffs. Because once either team surpasses each other, that's their kind of their path to the Super Bowl. And in Tom Brady's mind is like, if all I have to do is face one team and beat them, if I focus in and I got to beat one team in the playoffs, that's all I need then, because I know I can beat everybody else. He said it himself in his interviews. Oh, I can't sit down on Sundays when watching guys I know I'm better than playing, and I'm just sitting on the couch chilling. You think he was okay with Blaine Gabbert playing with his roster? We have to understand that 4 out of 5 offensive linemen all got hurt in the playoffs. So he was kind of playing with a depleted offensive line. So knowing that it's not that there was a lack of talent on this team, but it was just a lot of injuries that happened at the wrong time, unfortunately, he could come back and say, listen, these guys are healthy. I know we could play. We already won a championship together. I know if I come back, we're going to do the same thing. And then in his mind, it's more about like the competitive factor. Because I feel like if the NFC got really strong, he probably would have second guessed like, do I really want to play really tough this year? Do I want to play against all these guys? Because it's not like the AFC. Like if he had to play against Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, and Patrick Mahomes for 8 games, in his mind, he's like, do I want to do this? Like is that something I want to do? That's a tough matchup. But now in the NFC, like it's kind of just him. It's him and the Rams, right? The way I'm looking at it, we don't know what the Saints are gonna do. We don't know what the Falcons are gonna do in his division, right? Bucks division. Then we look at the NFC North. The Vikings got Kirk Cousins. He's not really doing much with the talent that he has in Minnesota.
He got chicken.
They're not doing much. The Green Bay Packers look like they might be worse because they're not. There are guys that they have signed. They franchise tag, like I said, Devontae Adams. He's saying he's not playing on a franchise tag. Smith just got released. They're still trying to work with their star cornerback on a contract extension. They're still far apart. The 49ers don't have a quarterback. We don't know what they're doing. They're starting Trey Lance or they're going with Jimmy G. We don't know. Like I said, Cardinals is an issue. The Seahawks, issues. The Rams have 2 hurt receivers right now, and Odell Beckham and Robert Woods. What's going to happen over there? We don't know. Is Van Jefferson going to make the leap? I can't tell you yes or no. I don't know if Van Jefferson's going to make that giant leap yet. And then on the Cowboys, come on. The NFC East is a joke. The Cowboys, you don't know what's going to happen over there with Amari Cooper gone. So you're kind of banking on CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. The Eagles, Commanders, and Giants are all jokes in the NFC as well. So when you kind of look at it, it's the Buccaneers versus the Rams with Tom Brady back. And I know in his mind as a competitor, he wants to win more than anything in the world. And I think he has the best chance to win this season in that NFC and go to a Super Bowl because he knows he could beat the Rams. He almost did a miraculous comeback in that fourth quarter to beat them. It fell short. But this team, the Rams team, is not that they're not unbeatable. They're a beatable team, and Tom Brady is a quarterback who can make that happen.
Wow. Actually, I did not know about the Davante Adams comments that he made. I'm looking at it right now. Davante Adams did indeed inform the Packers that he won't play on a franchise tag in 2022. Now, that's big because, they have a tight salary cap over there in Green Bay. They really do. And that's why I never understood why Aaron Rodgers took that big of a contract. You see, the difference with polarizing figures like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers is that Aaron Rodgers, as I hinted at it, what are you doing taking this whole boatload of money? Do you know your wide receiver, your number one guy, still needs to be paid? If that was Tom Brady would have took way less to allow his guy to get paid because his main concern is winning championships and not being the highest paid. And that's why if this prolongs into the season, there's only one person to blame for this. Actually, two, which will be Aaron Rodgers, the number one guy, and the Packers. Now, if you look at it, can you all outright blame the Packers totally? No, because without Aaron Rodgers, they got Jordan Love. You know what I'm saying? And Jordan Love don't get no love. Aaron Rodgers do. So now that you gave him that contract, it sucks because he's supposed to be the one that takes a discount to allow his buddy, a guy that's been his guy, a guy that's been his number one target, to get some of that rock, some of that cake, some of that cape, however they define money in this world. There's 1,000 ways they define money. Whatever it is, he should have got some. And that's indicative of how Aaron Rodgers attacks his day-to-day in the NFL and where his priorities are compared to a guy like Tom Brady, who I believe his contract now will be restructured, allowing these other guys that are free agents on the Buccaneers right now to get paid. When you have a guy like that, that's a star, that's unselfish, that's the best people to have in any business, NFL, corporation, whatever. It's having a superstar, a guy that's your best player, a guy that's your best worker, but he also sacrifices the hardest. He also is unselfish because, not to mention, when you have a lot of talented people in this world, they're divas. It's just that simple. They are. Like, I could go through the list of athletes. They divas, right? But Tom Brady has mastered the art of trying to win a championship and knowing what it takes to win a championship. A lot of people is not looking at how do you win in this world. Like, how do you attack the goal? Yeah, I want this. Yeah, I want that. But what am I willing to sacrifice to get it? Tom Brady is willing to sacrifice his paycheck. He's like, listen, I'm good in the bank. I can sacrifice. I don't need all that money. I don't need a 5-year deal. I don't need a $200 million deal. Shoot, by all the championships he won, he's deserving of that bread. He should be the highest paid quarterback, highest paid NFL player right now, if he wanted to be. But that's not his concern. He realized that his wife is making good loot too. And Giselle. Just like how Russell Wilson probably should have thought about it too. Like, listen, my wife Sierra was making a whole lot of money. Maybe I could take a discount to allow my team to continue adding on to the roster. At the end of the day, there's a reason why Tom Brady is the GOAT. There's a reason why he's won championships upon championships. And it's not only the talent. It's not only the talent. Yes, the talent has a lot to do with it, clearly. But it's about the sacrifice and mastering the art of sacrificing to make the dream work. The teamwork that makes the dream work. And a lot of these other guys ain't doing it, and that's why they out the ballpark.
The Can You Dig It Sports Radio Network is here. Revolutionize the game of media. Be a dig.